Hi guys, it's time for another book talk, and this is one that I have been waiting to do for quite some time. The first book that I picked up when we were quarantined was this one. It's Ruta Sepetys, The Fountains of Silence. I will tell you that I avidly await anything that comes out by Ruta Sepetys. I was never a fan of historical fiction growing up. I didn't like history, but she has a way of making these real issues from the past. She brings them to life. This book's focus on is focused on Madrid after the Spanish Civil War, and she brings to light what life was like during the dictatorship of General Francisco Franco. As an American, we didn't cover this part in our history classes, and even if we had, we only would have seen what we were allowed to see, which is what happened with the Spanish government that they shared with the world. Through many characters, this delves into the lives of those that were affected by the worst of the dictatorship. There's a young woman who desperately wants to obviously get out. There's a young man from Texas who is there, and his father is a wealthy oil person, but he wants to take photographs. And he runs into several people that have told him, you really have an eye for this. Tell the story of this country instead of just taking, pretty pictures. But you also have to understand that during this time period, there were a lot of people in the government that they did not want the story told. They didn't want outsiders. In fact, this family was only there because Dad was a wealthy oil person, and they had kind of hoped to barter a deal, which if I remember correctly, they do barter a deal. So but the son is not really involved in that. The people in this book, they talk a lot about the building of this shrine, and it's very political even today. I believe it was bombed in 99. Don't hold me to that, but it is the Valley of the Fallen, and they started building this. Franco decided that he wanted it built after the Spanish Civil War. What doesn't really get out is that it was he portrayed it as a monument to all the people that died in the Spanish Civil War. However, it was built on the backs of the people that were taken prisoner after the Spanish Civil War. So anybody that opposed him was made to work in building this, and they worked until they died, basically. So the young woman in this, she is the daughter of a patriot and her family, and the book really looks at the children that were children of resistant parents, that they were forced into squalor, deplorable living conditions. Their parents were murdered or imprisoned. Their father was murdered. Their mother was imprisoned, and she eventually died in prison. It also looks at what life is like for the matadors of Madrid, what it takes to become a rising star, how dangerous it is. It also discovers and looks into the children in the orphanages who were either orphans, were real orphans, or maybe the government decided that the resistant people, the people of the resistance, shouldn't be raising children. So they would say, oh, your baby died, and the baby actually didn't die. They moved it to an orphanage. So you have a lot of that, like a lot of things that were brushed under the rug, and they all seem to come together in this circle of information, and these people really want answers. I always look into a lot of the stuff that she prints out afterward or she discusses at the end of the book. Just recently, they have had their first investigation into a child that was taken from a revolutionary parent and was adopted out in the orphanages. So, I mean, it, it is historical fiction. I mean, I won't say that it isn't, but it's such a vivid historical fiction. This is not like your textbook of, okay, this is what happened, in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue. This is real stories of real lives. With that said, they are embellished, obviously, because it's historical fiction, quote, around the fiction part. But she creates these characters to really tell what life was like in that world during that time. So, if you have even remotely had an interest in historical fiction, if you want to know more about the Spanish Civil War, I know that after reading this, I would really love to go and see this Valley of the Fallen. So I have added that to my list of places that I would like to go. So, like I told you before, just come on down or send me a request. Don't come on down. Send me a request through Destiny. I'll put this on hold for you and get it to you on Wednesday or Thursday. And keep reading, guys. I've got tons of stuff for you down here. All right, bye.